Praise the Lord, everyone. So I have another Sunday song list, and it's I'm Not Alone by Carrie Joby. Let's just go ahead and dive right in. Verse 1, when I walk through deep waters, I know you will be with me. Okay, so like the verse, there's two lines that go together, two lines that go together, and two lines that go together. So we're just going to do, it's like three chunks of a concept that we're going to work on through this. So for that first one, when I walk through deep waters. So when we think about waters, especially deep waters, a lot of times biblically waters means chaos. There's a Hebrew word and I can't remember it, but it is chaos often. And so when I think about chaos, I think about being stressed and overwhelmed. So often in songs, instead of talking about the waters that are overwhelming, because very rarely are we actually drowning, right? I like to talk about stress and emotions and being overwhelmed is one way to look at deep waters in that way. And so when, okay, so we just do it once. When you're non-dominant and you circle around, kind of looks like this. When, right? And then happen. So you have these, starts out or palm facing up, and then it flips around. So when I walk through deep would be, so I'm going to say stress. So when happen, stress, overwhelm. Okay, so this is the sign for overwhelm, kind of this flat hand, and it's got a face, overwhelmed. But because of the water in the verse, the way that it's written in English, we're gonna do this, kind of this overwhelmed, wiggle the fingers, so it kind of looks like that. So stress, right? And it's gonna overwhelm. I know that you will be with me. So I finish no. Depend on you. Oh, I don't want you to do them here. I want you to do this one here. So straight on this relationship, because there's nothing that's really going to get in the way of this. So let's have this relationship go straight. Normally I say God is here, and then we have this conversation here. But this one, it seems to make more sense when I signed it to do it this way instead of this way. So finish no, depend on you, right? So we got to look up, depend on you, right? Breathe, depend, calm. Okay, so those first two lines would look like, okay, then when I'm standing in the fire, I will not be overcome. Okay, so again, when happen, awful, chaos, you know this sign, awful, chaos. So from this chaos, I want you to get this look of determination on your face and force yourself to come into the trust. Okay, so chaos, trust. So we're gonna combine those two signs together. Finish no, get through will. Okay, so basically meaning to say it doesn't matter what horrible thing has happened, I know from experience that I'm gonna get through this, right? Which is, I will not be overcome, meaning you're not gonna fail, kind of a thing. So all of that together. Through the valley of the shadow, I will not fear, right? So again, when happen, dark. So we're talking about the valley of the shadow, dark, and then suffer. Okay, so you are going to kind of move, I wouldn't say move off to the side to like straight off to the side, but you are going to move to this down spot, right? So move down because we're doing it this way here. So dark and then suffer. Finish, no fear. So eyebrows up. I should be afraid. I don't need to. Okay. So those two lines. Okay, so that's a sign for don't. This is a sign for need. Okay, so I don't need it. On to the chorus. I am not alone. I am not alone. You will go before me. You will never leave me. So there's a lot of different ways to do it. I just picked one, but there's a lot of, you can mix and match any of the other signs that show this concept. Play with it. I never signed it the same way twice whenever I was going through it myself, just to kind of get an idea. It always felt like I could choose something different. So I'm just going to give you one way of doing it, and then you go ahead and find a way that flows, because it's a really flowy song. So go ahead and find something that fits with what makes sense to you and your spirit and how you're worshiping Jesus at that moment. All right, so chorus. What I did was I did it left-handed instead of me alone, right? So this is the sign for alone, but in this case, I did it this way. And the reason is because of the next line. So I'm alone. No, I am not alone, right? And then the reason is because I've got this spirit that comes down, right? And then touches, kind of like the sign for candle, right? So touches and then comes back and pulls me back up this way, right? So I am not alone. I am not alone would look like, okay. You will go before me. You will never leave me. You lead, okay? Or you could sign spirit lead. You will never leave me. You leave. So it's kind of got this bounce to it, like done with it, right? Leave, ignore, never, okay? So you have to be careful because the ignore, this is directional. So if I've got something here and I'm going to ignore it, right? So it looks like ignore, okay? I'm going to ignore it. But in this case, he's ignoring us. So you got to change the direction of it. So that pinky needs to come back towards you. Ignore. That's why we put the neglect. So you neglect, no. You ignore, no. And then never, okay? So neglect or ignore, and then never. They're signed similarly, so you have to make sure your hands are really clear when you do them. Never. Okay. Verse 2. We're gonna keep on with this when happen. All right. So when happen, heart is torn. Okay. So in the midst of deep sorrow, I see your light is breaking through. So when happen, heart is torn. Okay. And then on this one, we're going to do I look, light is still shining through. Okay. In the dark of night will not overtake me. I am pressing into you. When happen, dark, depressed. Okay. I'm going to look and depend and hope. Okay. Lord, you fight my every battle. Lord, I struggle. You help me. Okay. And and I will not fear. I worry, eyebrows up. I worry. No, I'm going to trust. Okay. So when you sign that trust, make sure you lean forward. So that way, you know, it is a strong, I'm not going to fear. I'm going to lean forward. I'm going to press into this. I've made my decision that I am going to trust you in all of this, right? So those last two lines, Lord, I struggle and you help, right? I worry. No, I'm going to trust. And then affirm with your head, right? All right. The bridge, little part, you amaze me, redeem me, call me as your own. So you inspire, amaze, right? You amaze me. But whenever you do that inspire, you got to look up. You know, look at him and tell him, you are amazing, right? You amaze me. You redeem me. So what I want to do is you, and then, you know, this, we've been talking about this sign a lot, okay? This is going to be the same concept, but it's a little bit different. You redeem me, right? So he pulls me and pulls me out and then save, okay? So that's the redeem me. So you redeem me, right? And then you call me as your own. You touch like this, okay? Because that own, the call me as your own, is a hard concept to talk about in ASL. Like, do you own a person? No, not exactly. And own means to like own a house, like have possession, right? And so does he actually have possession of us? And it just gets a little bit weird, but he does when it comes to relationship, right? Relationship requires that connection. So that's why I like to sign it that way. He reminds me, has me look up and reminds me that we have this connection and we belong one to another, right? And that's the relationship. So that bridge would look like, sorry. Okay. Verse 3. You're my strength. You're my defender. You are strong. You protect. Okay. You're my refuge in the storm. When chaos, pull out, save. Okay. So see how all of these things are starting to come together when we've been talking about these signs? They make sense. So when chaos, leave the chaos here on your non-dominant hand and then pull me out and then save. Okay. Through these trials, you've always been so faithful to bring your healing to my soul. So through these trials, it doesn't matter what happens. So because there's multiple things that have happened, like we've said, when happened, all the way through the song. So now it doesn't matter what happens. You need to sign happen 3 times, okay? 2 or 3, happen or happen, like that. You always support, meaning you've always been faithful. You've always been faithful, okay? You bring healing to my soul. You healing to my soul. And then just because the way that the music goes in that particular point, it goes back into the chorus, right? So it's almost like you inspire this healing, but then what? There's just this praise that goes along with it, right? And this trust, this yield, this freedom that comes from a raising of hands. So you bring healing to my soul, right? And then you go back into the chorus, and that's the end of the song. So I hope that this helps. I hope that gives you a way to think about it, and I will see you next time.